Yo guys, what's up? Jack and O Trades here. It is Friday. That means it is time for an episode of Coach Overwatch. And honestly, it has been a while and it breaks my heart, but it fills me up with joy to be back talking with all of you guys. I have missed you, and honestly, I kind of hope you missed me too. But it is so good to be back in the swing of things, and I guess I should do a quick little summary of what's going on. So I had my whole debacle with my internet company, but it has been solved tremendously. I have about 3 times the speed that I did normally, so uploading this should take even quicker, should be even faster, so that makes me really excited to give that a try tonight. And then actually, I just got home from vacation today. I have been up since about 4:30 in the morning, and it is now about 7 o'clock at night, so jeepers, I am going strong. But it is all dedication for you guys because, like I said, I love hanging out with you guys. I love doing Coach Overwatch, and honestly, getting back into the swing of things has made me a little bit happier as well. So let's just kick off into the episode. Today we're going to be hanging out with Fowler Gaming, and I met him through a Facebook YouTube channel page, and he's actually a pretty cool guy, so I definitely was looking forward to making this one. And today we're going to be playing Tracer on Nepal, the control and the village portion of the map. So without further ado, let's kind of get this week's episode started. I guess I should say that I also think that this was recorded during that free weekend Overwatch did a few months. Oh, gee, it might have been a month ago at this point, because I think this is a little bit early footage for a lot of these players. So don't take that the wrong way, Fowler. I think you did a very good job, and we'll elaborate on that. But some of these players you're going up against, they put you in situations that normally you wouldn't get out of too easily. So the first thing right here, we get caught by the deflect from Genji. Keep an eye open for that, or I guess I should say an ear open for that kind of stuff, because that deflect sword does come out quickly, but you can hear that distinct sound. And then also with your blinks, be a little bit more thoughtful with them. Try to know, I'm at 64 health. I'm not in the best position. So use your blinks to kind of get away as well. There's that sound, you heard it right there, and then unfortunately it does chew through you pretty quickly. So let's get back into the match real quick and see what happens. Okay, so that Tracer right there, I don't know how this happened, where she came from. She might have came from, there she was. She was up above, she dropped down. Watch how quickly this treads through her health. Those guns are really powerful, but when you're close up to people, and you'll see that in a little bit. Great job with the Tracer. You heard that deflect, the Genji, and you heard that deflect, and it seems you kind of learned from your past mistakes. You got out of there, and I thought it was a really good play. And then my favorite thing is you prioritize the Mercy. So we chased her down, and then you'll see she even goes for cover here and there, but you're dedicated, so I like that. Mercies or any other healers are kind of go-to people to take care of. Why she didn't get away from you, or at least try to, is what kind of makes me think that these are a lot of lower level players that are giving the game a try for the first day. It's not a bad thing, and I welcome everyone of all skill levels to this show, but it's just kind of weird that she didn't try to fly away again, at least to find cover with Mei. Okay, so as we know with Coach Overwatch, it's a little bit tricky. I can't hear any of the game audio, and I definitely wanted to talk about that Mercy's skill level. But the big thing that happens is we can hear your teammates say, hey, check it out, there's 2 turrets in there, watch out. Well, what do? We hear them. Okay, we get the Mercy. We put our baby toe in there, and then boom, we get taken out for it. So you were warned, so be a little careful next time in the future. But yes, they did unfortunately just take you out, not with any trouble at all. So, I mean, keep in mind the comms that your friends are giving you. They're pretty helpful. Let's zoom back in there. And at this moment, I want to talk about a little trick that I use with my Tracer. I don't play Tracer too often. I usually stick with Genji if I'm going to play offensive, or McCree if I want to do a lot of damage. But Tracer is very fun to use. There's a trick with her blinks that I use where I kind of space them out a little bit. I'll go blink, 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 and then by the time I do the third one, my fourth one, as you can see right there, your fourth one, is ready to go. So you can kind of space it out and get to the action a little bit faster. And it's kind of a rhythm that you need to learn. My very first adventure back into YouTube was about a game called Abzu. And in that game, it had a rhythm to the strokes that you did. You'd press X, 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 and by the third one, he'd have an increased amount of speed. So you have to find that rhythm with Tracer if you continue to play with her to utilize that blink to its full potential, but once you do, you'll see it's actually a lot more useful to use it slowly than it is in quick, because you're going to get to the action a lot faster. So enough of that little rambling, let's get back into the fight. And right here, good use of the ult, good stick, you took him out, and then that tracer. Ooh, gee, manies, there's a lot going on, but what's going to happen?
Watch out to your right.
See, I like this. You knew you were outnumbered, so you kind of fell into this little cubby hole, or, well, it's a building, but you used it for cover, and then you were able to blink out of the danger for the actual bastion, and then here you are chasing the Mercy again. So instead of charging in the foyers, she likes to say, the cavalry's here, and you burst right in. You played a little bit more defensively, and it paid off in the end. However, we got to see something real quick. Ooh. All right, so we fell off. But what do we do? And please don't take this the wrong way, Fowler, but it's just what my heart's kind of telling me. I'm going to say that this is another, a different proof that we're still kind of new to the game. And that's because our rewind button, we don't really use it. Or ability, I guess I should say, because it takes you back about 3 or 4 seconds to your last position with your health and your ammo. So if we fall, we can instinctively pop that rewind, and then you would have been back up there with the Mercy. And then even here, hopefully you guys can hear it, you say, oh, I fell again, which kind of proves that, well, this has happened. And you have a tool that can hopefully get you out of that situation. So keep that in mind. And then I should also say that this is the second round of the control. And you guys did take the first one. It was really good. Right now, I'm focusing on the middle round because you won the first one, you lose this one, and then you win the next one. And I want to kind of talk about why you lost. So this is going to be a quick episode, but this is the one that I truly feels like it has the most lessons or potential things to learn from. So, okay, right here is one of those instances. Thankfully, you get out scot-free, but charging into Mei's ultimate is very, very risky. You can see that slowdown happening to you, and thankfully we had a blink saved up. I'm surprised that it recharged that quickly, but it's good because it got you out of danger. Because, alright, we have one tracer coming, but we don't know if a Bastion's coming. He could have had his ultimate ready, and then it would have taken out the Hanzo for sure, and then you would have been an easy pick as well for that tank form. It definitely worked out, and it's just something to be mindful of that. Okay, she's going to freeze everyone, and you've already lost 2 teammates. This isn't an ideal situation to throw yourself into. Thankfully, it works out, and then we catch the Bastion here. But what happens? Well, let's watch it, because I really like it, but there's another thing that I would have done instead that could have played out differently. Okay. I love this. It's pretty cheeky, not gonna lie. That little flank and then getting above him, because he can't look, well, he should have looked, but he can't look up. And if we go back, I like that you didn't instinctively use your ultimate. A lot of times newer players get really happy to see that flash of blue and then say, oh, this is an easy kill, I'm gonna use it. So good job saving it, but let's talk about what could have happened. Okay, so here we are. Notice you're at 150, now you're down to 131 health. And we see the Bastion. So we do a little plinking, and we take some damage. Now, a little bit earlier with the Mercy, we talked about how the rewind will take you back 3 seconds and you'll get all your health. So you would have had full health, been behind that pillar, and then could have blinked to the side of him and probably taken him out in that whole 2 seconds that it would have taken you or whatever. You opt for the flank, which is good, but the problem is we lose that chance, I guess I should say, chance or time to get all of that health back for a potential fight that's coming. So is it necessarily wrong what you chose? No, because you do take him out, but there's a better choice because you could have rewound, gotten a majority of your health back, taken him out pretty quickly, and then been ready to, well, get back onto the point and take it back. Okay, this is one of my favorite moments. So we do this, we'd use the ultimate and we blink back to kind of avoid it, which you don't really need to do. I don't know if you're trying to get out of danger, but so we blink back. Uh-oh, we're falling again. Thankfully, boom. Let's watch it seamlessly because it's pretty cool. And we're back in there. Was it necessary? No, you could have just rewound. Thankfully, you did pick up the health kit. I thought it was pretty cool, but just kind of keep in mind, hey, I could rewind. And then unfortunately it throws you right into a fight with a tracer that we're going to watch and dissect a little bit. So let's check it out. Good dodges. We've done some damage. Our aim's a little off. There's our rewind. Then unfortunately we get taken out. So what could we have done differently as Tracer to maybe have won that fight? Well, okay, so first off, right away, we could have rewound and then not been in the fight at all. You would have been on the second level. You could have seen her going under and then had the element of surprise. The other thing, let me get back there so I can have a little bit more time to talk about it. Okay. So we're at 127 before the fight starts. We get dropped down to 91. Now we're at 55. Uh-oh, what's happening? So now we rewind, but we're only at 91. So we've plinked her down a little bit. She rewinds. She's basically at full health because, well, you haven't hit her that much, but she has the clear advantage as far as health, and it all kind of comes down to aim, or if you're able to blink and kind of dodge effectively. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. So what would I have done? Well, it doesn't work every time, and it's a little bit trickier against a tracer. But in this first little fight, as soon as I knew we were taking damage, I would have blinked ahead, caused somewhat of a distraction, or I guess initiated a chase, and then rewound behind her. Think back to that very first tracer you killed. It's probably her. I can't say for certain because I haven't been able to keep track of if anyone's switched or anything, but let's just say it's the same tracer. So think back. You were behind her, and you cleaned her up in no time because your pistols work so well close up. So if you initiated a chase, used the rewind, you would have been at full health or at least close to it, and then you would have just shredded her and ended the fight. So initiate a chase, blink behind the enemy to create confusion, and then just tear them apart. So unfortunately, she had a lot of advantages against you because she was able to rewind and have a giant amount of health back. So it just wasn't a fight in your favor. But in the future, you can kind of think about that stuff, initiate the chase, zip behind them, plow through them, and then you'll have your health back too. So just stuff to keep in mind. Okay, so listen for our teammate in a couple seconds. Okay, he should have said it, but the thing that was said was, we need a tank. And in all honesty, your teammate's right. So we have a McCree, a Hanzo, you as Tracer, and then another Tracer. I don't know where our other member of the team is, and I can't really say who it is. I can't remember, I'm sorry. But the thing is, your teammate's right. So based off the comp of your team now, a tank is pretty well needed. You have the defense of Mei coming in, she's freezing everyone. Genji's coming in being annoying. Oh, it's a Zenyatta. So you have a Zenyatta, you have a healer. In my opinion, it's okay to switch. Coach Overwatch is a little bit easier to talk about if we focus on one hero at a time, but in a normal match, if you can make an observation of, we are in dire need of someone who can tank a lot of damage, but then also allow us to get some work done or hold a point, I'm going to go on a limb here and say your teammate's absolutely right. So some suggestions for you as a player that I've seen so far. I think Roadhog or Zarya would be a good fit for you based on your aggressive style. Roadhog can get in there, make sure he hooks people, brings them in, and then pops them with his shotgun to take them out. Or Zarya, as a matter of fact, would be able to put her shields on the friendlies that you have, and then she is able to kind of make a self-sacrificing move and get into the action and put on her bubble shield to increase the damage of her particle cannon. So think about those two heroes in the future. I think they'd be very, very good picks for you. And remember, tanks are, well, team switching in general is very good for the win. So you have a very good Tracer. I just think you guys needed to have better team comps in order to pull off that victory. And as we can see right here, unfortunately, we did lose. And I'm going to go into some detail about why I think we lost. So let me just kind of jump to random points of the game, and we'll get into it real quick. So I'm sorry for your loss, but why did it happen? Well, right off the bat, we can kind of talk about how there was no tank. So you need to be aware of your team comp and find a way to fit roles or fill roles that are missing. Another thing is Tracer is an offensive hero in Assault and aggressive, but I think you played a little bit too aggressively. We need to focus on the objective. Yes, people are going to say, oh, but Tracer is so good at flanking around and picking off healers. You are, and your Tracer shows you do a very good job at that. But the problem is there comes a time when you guys need to regroup as a team and hold down a point, because we could have all been in here contesting the point, or excuse me, holding the point, and then as we noticed enemies coming in, you could have blinked, been behind them, and still contest the point to make sure it doesn't fall into their hands. So those are kind of the two main things that I'd say led to unfortunately losing the round. They aren't the worst things in the world, but there's still things to kind of think about. So now is the part of the video where I get to pull out my notes and go into summaries of what I think you did really, really well with, and then things that we need to work on. So overall, I think you did a very, very good job with your Tracer overall. She's very, very flashy. She's fun to watch, so that's always good. We don't want someone who just kind of pluts around and doesn't really do anything. So good job being active and engaged with the enemy, at least keeping them busy, because that is still a valuable thing or trait to have as a Overwatch player as well. Also, great target prioritization. Your ability to focus the mercies or any healer in that fact is very good. Here you're chasing her down. You know it's important to make sure she doesn't use her ultimate, bring back both those bastions or the Genji. It's good to keep that stuff in mind, because without a healer, well, they're at a big disadvantage. And then finally, I want to say you have a very good sense on when to use your ultimates and when not to. I remember my first couple days playing Overwatch, I was either really, really too conservative with my ultimates, or I was really excited to use them, and I would use them at wrong times. So you have a good balance between that, never wasting them, in my opinion. You got a couple double kills, you cleared the point, and then you were ready for when you needed to use them. So I like that. Finally, we're going to kind of touch on the things to work on, in my opinion. Number one, I would work on your rewinds, and later on in the third round, you do a lot of standing by health packs, waiting to have them respawn, when all actuality, you could have just popped your rewind, saved the health pack for someone who, well, needed it, and then had your health and ammo back. So just keep that stuff in mind. Maybe check out a few videos of rewind montage. I don't know if that exists. Maybe we'll make one. That'll be kind of fun. But know that they'll get you out of danger, and they're also a very good tool to confuse the enemy. Number two, was Tracer the best pick for your team right now? You already had one. Thankfully, you have a good Tracer. I enjoy it. I think it's very good and aggressive. You have good aim and good game sense, but like your teammate said, you needed a tank, and that's true. So know when to switch. My metaphor for this right now is a good football team isn't only made up of good quarterbacks. You always need members of the team to balance everything out and make sure you guys work efficiently. And then number three, focus on the point. Like I said, you were very aggressive, which is good for Tracer, but almost too aggressive. We needed to make sure we were holding the point when you guys were in control of it, and making sure no one was able to get onto it and take it away from you. The score just didn't work out. Thankfully, you come in next round and take it, but that does wrap it up for how much time we have on today's episode of Coach Overwatch. Guys, if you're happy that the series is back, please smash that like button, because, you know, I'm very pumped, and I am very, very excited to get this series back on track. I know there's a couple YouTubers I watched that I loved dearly that kind of just disappeared, and I vow to never ever do that to you guys. I had my vacation, I had my internet down, and I had to move, but right now, hopefully this kind of proves that I mean what I say. I'm coming back, and I'm coming full force. If you guys enjoyed this video, like I said, smash that like button, give it a share, give it a tweet, do whatever you guys want to do. If you want to be featured on an episode of Coach Overwatch, contact me. My email will be down in the description below. You can also leave a YouTube comment, just kind of asking some questions. Members of the community will be happy to help you. Agent Indiana, Fowler Gaming, hopefully can talk to you about this stuff. Oh, gee, Manise, we got so many people. And then also be on the lookout for some upcoming episodes. We got some Tracer waifu coming up. We have not Kinway, Sock Napper. There's some other ones coming up too. They're a couple weeks out of the way, so we won't touch on them yet. But guys, subscribe for more. Keep it here for Coach Overwatch, and then keep your eyes peeled for Inside the Game Feels episode of the month. This is Jack and No Trades signing off.